loaded up in this piece. Drink a little bit of porter. Does not suck. Now, this box, as you see, it's open already. It's open. I don't know what's in here. This comes courtesy of my boy Darren, aka / Oak Ridge. He actually chimes in the comments quite a bit. He wrote me a while ago. He's like, "Hey man, I don't live that far away from you. I have some beers for you." Nothing happened. And it was just back and forth, not in a negative way. I'm just trying to make fun. And he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I want to drop these off. I'm going to mail these off." And it's hard to connect, oddly enough, when you live locally, more often than when mailing stuff. Because if you live like 5 states over, you're like, well, we're never going to hang out in real life. Or unless I make a trip out there, so I'm just going to mail stuff to you. You put it in a box, you send it off the way. But when you live kind of semi-close to each other, you're like, okay, let's hook up. And basically play a little bit of kind of email tag. And just never really hooked up to exchange beers. And by exchange beers, I mean him giving me beers. And then like it was like a week or two ago, he's like, this is my favorite part. I want to make sure I kind of get this point across in this video. And he's like, "Hey man," he's like, I have way too much beer in my fridge. He's like, "I need to dump some beer on you." And I was like, "You're preaching to the choir, son." And he's like, "Okay, I'm going to hook up. I'm going to drop some beers off." And then we didn't hook up, which is fine. And then like a couple days later, he's like, I'm all over the place. I'm like down south. I'm over here. I'm getting all this other beer. And I'm like, "Dude, you just told me your beer fridge was like maxed to the max. You don't have any more room, and you're buying all kinds of other beer." And went back and forth. Lo and behold, after all of that, he actually just wrote me today via email. He's like, "Hey man, drop the beer box off on your mailbox, not in your mailbox." He said, "I dropped it off on your mailbox." And that's what we have here. Now, when I got home, this was kind of opened. It wasn't sealed. I don't know if that's how we left it. I live on a farm, and there's more than one person here. So they might have opened it real quick because there was no label on it and stuff like that, and they didn't know. But they didn't take anything out of it. So I'm just going to let you guys know that. Pre-opened, not by me. Let's dive into this sucker and see what's what. Before we dive in, let's go into the comments, because we have Jay Wagner chiming back saying, "I'm here having a drink with you." Cheers, brother. And Jesse Flint actually coming in and says, "I can't believe you didn't like luxurious luxury. Definitely way different of a beer, but I understood all your points about it. I felt like I needed a dentist after it myself." And that's the thing, and I think that hopefully came off in the beer review, is that I really did not like it. I hated it, but I tried to cap it with saying I think some people will love it. And that's the great thing about beer. It's I didn't think it was a well-made beer, but I think people would gain pleasure from it. So it's not like this kind of just pale ale that's so far off that I don't think anybody would derive any kind of pleasure or anything like that from it. But I think there was a certain aspect to it that a lot of people would really, really, really love. And that's things, man. That's beer, man. Hey, some people like cucumber pickle, like I said in that video. So if you love it, that's a great thing. It's not me shitting on you. And that's the one thing about beer reviews in general, or I should say mine, because some people are a little bit more douchey, is that, if I don't like it, it doesn't mean you can't like it, and vice versa, man. I'm like, fucking do you. You do you. I just sit here and I don't rate beers. I don't say this beer is... I shouldn't say that. I was going to say I don't say beers are good or bad. If a beer's fucked up, I'll say it's fucked up. You know what I mean? But, technically, not necessarily personally. But there's some beers I just don't like because I don't like the way... They could be well made, but they're just not my style. And then there's beers that are actually poorly made that might be kind of tasty. It's a weird kind of rabbit hole to jump into. So I get where you're coming from there. It just wasn't for me. Antisocial Gamer back again says, "Damn, all I have is Mountain Dew. Should be drinking with you." Well, Mountain Dew doesn't suck, honestly. Let's see what's what. Raider Nation 420 coming in. Cannabis and hazy IPAs go like P and J. I think he meant PB&J, but we'll see what's what. So first off, we have Coastal Empire Brewing Company. Never heard of these guys before. Yeah, we'll see what's what. It's their blonde ale, which honestly, I'm a blonde ale kind of guy. 4.7%. It says live, relax, and savor on the side. Yeah. Tybee Island Blonde is a Kolsch-style ale. It is a clean, crisp session beer brewed with light hop aroma and flavors. This is from Savannah, Georgia. I wish I had that Savannah, Georgia accent thing that I could pull off. I can't do it. But I know he runs down that way, so I'm kind of pumped about that one. Next up. That's the best thing about... Ooh, before I dive into these. I just saw this. I didn't realize there was a note. Gotta read those notes. Anyway, it says, hey, Mr. Bat, 1T, bonus points. He gets bonus points for the 1T. Here's a box of beers from for you to review. Some come from well-known brewers, but are otherwise not well-circulated. Others are beers I've found in my travels that I enjoy. The Fochi beer is an interesting one off, and one we'll probably never see again. Okay. Give me your take on them. Looking forward to it. Oak Ridge. There you go. Hopefully you didn't like me putting your name out there, Darren. I didn't put the last name, obviously, so we'll see what's what. Old Man, Treehouse. I will chug this beer to the day I fucking die. It's one of my favorite beers of all time. Fucking love this beer. That might not get reviewed because I've reviewed it before, so I am gonna... You want my thoughts? It's delicious. I'm gonna drink it. Okay, Wild Heaven Happiest Beer. I heard of this brewery company not too long ago from somebody else. Wild Heaven Beer Company. And I think they get distro. Correct me if I'm wrong, Oak. I think they get distro in New Jersey, don't they? Because I think I saw this label somewhere. This is the Fuji Spring. It's a ACAI Pale Ale. So American Pale Ale? Something? I don't know. American Pale Ale brewed with ACAI and not yet named experiment. Okay, so that's the experimental hop. Exploration Project. No date. That's cool. 4.25%. You're fucking right in my wheelhouse right there. So I dig it. What are those blueberries in the background? Those look like blueberries. Is that going to be like a blueberry kind of hop? Because if that's the case, then I'm fucking all in because I fucking love blueberries. What we got next here? Fudge. Have I had fudge? I don't think I've had fudge, but I think I've had something along the lines of what fudge might be. Fudge is a Imperial Milk Stout from Treehouse, a 9.2%. And it just says to emulate the flavor of fudge and beer. The coolest thing about this is I believe almost all these, by utilizing milk chocolate, lactose, and cocoa powder, we are able to craft a beer that ignites your senses with joy and exhilaration, calling to mind dense and chewy chocolate fudge wrapped up in tightly carbonated creamy body. So there are adjuncts in here, but these kind of like little kind of dances off the edge of what Treehouse is normally doing kind of really turn me on, so I'm kind of pumped about that one. We have another one of these, which is Coastal Beer Empire. This is their Cocoa Pina Goza. Cocoa Pina is a tropical take on our classic sour German Goza style, brewed with pineapple, coconut, and Himalayan sea salt. Say what? This is sunny crushers. This is like when everything gets hot and you just want to crush some beers. This right here is what you want to do. So I'm gonna actually stack that on top because we got a little twinsies action going on here. Yeah, good stuff. Go back in the comments real quick. Jay Wagner chiming back in. I was telling No Hope that I would send him some local stuff from up here in Mass. I'll have to send you something also. If you have to. I mean, good God. That would be absolutely fucking awesome. Like, beer meals are fantastic, but the fact that people send up beer meals to beer tubers is crazy, and it's insane. Jesse Flint chiming in. Back again. Said, would be interested to hear your thoughts on Fiddens Brewing. Never heard of them, actually. They're around Albany. Not sure No Hype could send you some on your next exchange. If not, I can send you some. Yeah, I've never heard of them. Fiddens Brewing? Never heard of them before. I'll look into them after the video, but yeah, totally a blank slate to me as far as beer goes, so... Yeah, anyway. And then we have Gavin Puchaven said, I'm pumped to see some of the Illinois reviews coming up. I'm pumped too because I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, I've done a couple and they didn't suck. Not posted them, but reviewed them. And Derek Handy chimed in saying, cheers from Washington. I assume the state. What's going on the West Coast? Now, this beer, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm super fucking pumped for this beer. Pearl Wit Beer. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, from Treehouse Brewing. This is let's see, it's Pearl is a Belgian-style wit beer brewed with utmost care and respect for tradition while introducing a gentle nod to modern brewing. So it's a traditional malt bill, traditional yeast, Saaz hops, a little bit of Citra up in here. 5.1%. I mean, I saw this. When I saw this beer, a couple things came to mind. One, it kind of made me think of like Blue Moon and also Blue Point Brewing because the labeling and the whole nine, which Treehouse can fucking do whatever it wants, so I don't give a shit. But a wit beer from Treehouse, it kind of has my butthole tight. I'm not going to lie to you right now. So, yeah. Anyway, let's keep rolling along here. A little bit more Treehouse up in this piece. Nomad is a Czech dark lager. I'm just going to stop there because I'm going to say, if I don't like this beer, I'm going to punch myself in the nuts. I'm going to tell you right now, if I don't like this beer, I'm going to hurt myself in my nutsack. It's going to hurt because, you're talking about a Czech lager, a Czech dark lager. God damn it, from Treehouse. If you don't make this good, Treehouse, I'm going to drive up there and fucking throat punch Dean because that shit's gotta be delicious. And a little bit more Treehouse. It's becoming Treehouse hour real quick. This is their Ma. Have I had Ma? It sounds super familiar. I don't remember the label being like this for Ma. And it's amber ale. Again, this is much like Czech lager. It's fucking amber ale. We don't have to talk about it. Last but not least, Southern Pines. I kind of like this label. Let's see what this sucker has. Southern Pines Brew Company. This is their Texas Rig Hoppy and Juicy Imperial IPA. 8.5% alcohol by volume. And as they say, per the bottom here. They say juicy and luxurious. Texas Rig is layered with Citra, Mosaic, Amarillo, and Crystal hops. Luring out big citrus character from deep in the kettle. Bright as the summer sun. You're guaranteed to catch what you're looking for a big Texas Rig. I fucked that up. Anyway, I'm not going to repeat it. Rooted in the community. Yeah. There's something about this. It looks super familiar. I don't know what it is. Yeah. And I assume... So, story time before we stop. I used to be a hardcore fisherman. That's all I did from the age of 14 to about 21. That's all I did was fish. And I stopped. I'm a weird dude like that. Like, I played professional pool for a bit. I fish like crazy. It's crazy. I believe that's what they call Texas Rig. I don't know why they call it that. I call it snag proof. You know what I mean? But, yeah. This has actually got me kind of really excited because there's something about this unknownness. Never heard of the brewery. Never heard of the beer. All that kind of fun stuff. So look at that little lineup here. I mean, new brewery over here. A little bit of sweet, delicious summer chuggers, both from a blonde and a pina colada beer. You got that Treehouse Old Man up in this piece. This one is probably piquing all the most interest because, one, been alluded that it was quite tasty, but at the same time, there's blueberries on there. So that makes me happy. And a whole bunch of Treehouse. I'm shortchanging the wheat beer by not having it in the mix there. So that's an absolutely fantastic fucking run. So thank you very much. I'll go Oak Ridge. I don't know, drop names if they're not allowed. So I appreciate it, brother. I was kind of hoping you were going to chime in on the chat. I know shit is busy and all that stuff, and he chimes in every now and then. This is kind of late, actually. What time is it? Yeah, it's 10:24. I usually don't do live streams this late, but thank you very much, brother. This is an absolutely epic box of deliciousness. My wife is pissed off because the fridge is being overloaded with awesomeness, so thank you very much. It's a really cool fucking box, and I can't wait to dive into it. Let's dive into the comments real quick before we actually chime off, because Daddy's got to play some video games. Anyway, we have Jesse Flint chiming in saying, would be interested in hear your thoughts. We already went over that, actually. Let's see if there are thoughts. Illinois, we already went over that. Cheers from Washington. And then we have Jay Wagner saying, haha, I love to. Give me your favorite styles and I'll send some over. I mean, here's the thing about me with mystery beers, or not mystery beers, beers in general. It doesn't matter about style. Because the whole point is for me to drink the beer and kind of talk about them. So, like, a lot of people actually write me and they go, hey, man, what do you want? And who do you want from these places? And I'll be like, I don't want anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to tell you anything. Because, one, if you're going to send me beer, you send me fucking beer. I'm not going to tell you what to send me. That's fucking douchebag shit. I'll just be like, just send me, if you want to send me beer, you're already way ahead of the game. Feel free to send me whatever you want because that's crazy. But don't also feel like you have to send me your area's like best bets or the most popular shit because there's so many great breweries out there. There's so many great breweries that do so many great things that there's a lot of beers that get like lost in the shuffle or pushed under the rug, whatever analogy you want to put it. So I usually tell people, just send me what you like. Send me what you like. Send me what the locals like. Send me, what you like to drink. And that's what I want to try. You know what I mean? I don't want to try, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, listen, I'm going to love the fuck out of all these tree houses. But if somebody sent me some Podunk, or Oak Ridge, or anybody else sent me some Podunk brewery they never heard of, which he did, never heard of, you know what I mean? Like, beers that you never heard of, that shit gets me hot and bothered too. So, I like everything. Even if people like, what don't you like? Well, listen, one of my least favorite styles is Rosh beer, but if a really well done Rosh beer really turns me on. So, even then, send me that. Send me all the shit I don't like, because that's the whole point about drinking it and talk about it honestly, and that's kind of what I like to do here. Anyway, let's see. Jesse Flint chiming in. Yeah, it's a pretty new brewery, I believe. Only sells crowlers. That some of their beers only run per person. He was talking about that brewery Fiddens up in Albany. Thoughts on Hop Pitcher versus Treehouse? Gavin Pachavern actually asked that question. Markedly different breweries. I mean, I would absolutely 1000% say if you put a Treehouse beer in front of me in mystery style versus a Hop Butcher, I'd be able to like, yeah, this is Hop Butcher, this is Treehouse. I'm sure there's some beers that they've had that might be close enough to kind of fool me, but in the grand scheme of things, they're markedly different breweries when it comes to what they produce and the kind of beers that they produce. I love them both. Hop Butcher tends to get a little bit more adventurous with their hop selection and how they produce it. Treehouse is way more consistent, and their mouthfeel is usually super fucking crazy, water nerdy awesome. So it's not a matter of, it's like an apples and oranges thing. So it's not me dodging the answer to the question. It's just more, that's the truth. Jack Wagner chiming back in again said, Wordle, look through your videos and see what you hadn't reviewed. I was thinking of sending some Mighty Squirrel since they seem to be unknown outside of Mass. I think I've had one. Their most popular one. I forget the name of them, but it doesn't even matter. Yeah, if I haven't had it, that's fantastic. If I've had it again, it's not that I don't want beers that I've had before. It's just that I typically don't re-review a beer unless it's been quite a long time. So, like, for example, Old Man, I've reviewed that within the past 2 years. I probably just drink that. So it's kind of like you just gave me a beer for me to drink, which is okay. Derek Handy chimed in, sipping back on a Belgian triple from Ecliptic. Delicious. Oh, man, Belgian triples. Good night. Good night. Your Belgian triples are night juice, so you're going to sleep soon, bud. And Lance Harbor says Charlestown Fermentory. Never heard of them. Don't know what to tell you. I've heard of Charlestown. I heard of my cat over there fucking with a bunch of shit. But yeah, so there you go. So we are hitting 10:30. This is an unboxing. This is not a live stream, not a live chat. I'm gonna cut you motherfuckers off because I could stay here all night. That would not be good for my productivity tomorrow at work. So, anyway, last but not least, Antisocial Gamer. I keep wanting to say Astrological Gamer. I don't know why. Says, have you had any Black Stack or Derek from up here in Minnesota? No. maybe Black Stack. That sounds familiar, but I don't remember. And Jay Wagner says, I'll get in touch with you somehow and get you some locals. Massivebeers@gmail.com or matt@massivebeers.com, or just reach out to me. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Friendster, ICQ, GeoCities, any of those places, you can get at me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this unboxing. Hopefully you're enjoying me reviewing